Hi YouTube, Steve here. We're back at the piano, and today we are going to look at a piece by Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach called March in D Major. This is in the RCM Royal Conservatory Celebration Series Piano Repertoire Book 4. So actually this is the first piece in this book and also the first piece of a whole series that we're going to have on this channel with the RCM pieces. So without further ado, let's hear what this piece sounds like, because it's a really nice one. With a repeat, and then we also have a repeat on that second part. So let's talk just a little bit about some basics in this video, mostly for rather beginners at level 4. Maybe I'm playing it a little fast. There's also another video that I did on this particular piece, mainly talking about articulations. There's a link to that in the description. So let's just look at a few basic things that beginners at level 4 should pay attention to in here, or things that one can pay attention to depending on your level. So definitely the most difficult part of this piece is this part here, especially in the left hand. And I like to use a different fingering than what's in this RCM book. We have 1, 5, 1, 2, 3. RCM now says 3, 4, 3, 1, which is 1, 5. It's doable, but even for I would change this fingering for anyone. Put a 1 on the F sharp at the end of the bar. So you have 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Put the thumb on the F sharp. So you have 1, 2, 5. It's just so much easier that way. The thumb on the F sharp there. Now notice, I don't change the fingers on these. You can do 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1 or something like that. You know, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can also do that. It's not a bad idea to repeat the repeated notes with different fingering, especially for beginners. It just helps you to articulate a little better. For very fast repeated notes, usually it's just better, you know. If you're used to also playing very finger-like, using the finger, relying on the movement of the fingers here at this joint to play, it's kind of hard to do that with the same finger. Da, 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 da. This gets very tired. But if you have a control a little more from the arm, let's say, notice I'm not relying on this to do it this way. I sometimes use 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 5, 2, 1. So that's possible. If you're repeating a note really with the arm or some kind of, the idea is to go into the note, and that's the beauty of using the same fingers, that you can go into the note. The beauty of using different fingers is you have more accuracy and more articulation on fast repeated notes. So that's very useful. Okay, I like to change the fingering as well here in bar 6 and 7 in the left hand, where we have here we have in the RCM book 4, 5, 2, 4, 3, 1, which does work, but I like to do maybe something like this: 5, 4, 2, 4, 3, 1. But there's really a variety of fingerings you can use here. That's exactly the ornamentation A. You have another possibility as so. I recommend the first one, the one in the A box. You basically a triplet. Another thing, now this is really depending on your level. You can go further in the articulations of this piece. Again, you can check the other video I did on this. I won't get into it too much in this video because it's really more of an advanced thing, but if you're looking to take your interpretation of this piece to another level, definitely check out that other video with the articulation. There's so many different ways to play Bach. Some people are going to do this. Some people do this. That's how I like it. So that just about wraps it up for this piece. Let's just play it one more time through without the repeats and see if there's any last ideas that come to mind that might be of assistance to you in this piece. Okay, so just a couple of last things here to wrap this up. Definitely when you have the second beat is very obviously important because you have that half note, which is kind of like a minor syncopation from the third beat. So 1, 2, 3. Even if this is written in 2, you have that C with the line going through it. So that technically makes it a serious syncopation. And I like to do this. So basically, you're going towards the middle of the bar on the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, or 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So do this D, C sharp, D, where you have the second D a little bit more. A little crescendo on there. And then that answers the syncopation here. Here we have what looks like an actual syncopated note in the right hand with that E. And the left hand answers the syncopation. So on the beat where the right hand is supposed to be strong but missing, the left hand is like the answer to that syncopation. We should do a whole video on syncopations. Now in the second part here, a little fingering I wanted to share also. We have here again in the RCM book, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1. This is one place. I'm often talking about actually using the thumb on black keys like we did here. 1, 2, 5. A lot of times it's not a problem. It just depends on the situation. But this is a place where I actually don't recommend putting the thumb on the C sharp. It is more simple to have the same fingers in every bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. But it somehow fits the hand better to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 2. Put the 2 on the C sharp, and then go on with the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you could put the 1 back on the C sharp here. That doesn't matter. It's that when you're coming back here with a 3 on the D and you have to travel very far to put the thumb on the black key because the thumb is short and the black notes are further. So that's why we have this problem with the thumb. So that's the fingering I use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. That's probably what you have. Then starting on bar 15, 2 on C sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 back on C sharp here. So here you can also group this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then stop. There's our 2 small things, and then we have 1 big one. So many times you have that in music. So when you practice it that way, then if you practice it with those kind of groupings, then when you eliminate the groupings, you should be able to conserve that sense of the same grouping, the way we just heard it, without actually doing those groupings. So that makes it sound like the way I just played it. Let's try that again. Instead of like that. Another thing that almost, well, probably 95% of any beginner is going to forget to do with this piece, which is really something important for especially Baroque music and classical music, is to respect the silences, very often in the left hand. So when these quarter notes are just 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, to really cut off that left hand on the second beat exactly as the composer asked for. I'm kind of exaggerating it there, but that's the idea. And here, imitate the right hand. See if it is an imitation of the right hand. The left hand imitates the right hand in bar 17, what the right hand did in bar 16. So if you shape it in a particular way, you shape both hands in a particular way, then you're able to bring out the imitation more. So in other words, if I don't shape those two lines, the one in the right hand in bar 16, left hand in bar 17, no shape, which is just a bad idea, we're going to have, which is how everyone's going to play it. But we're missing the shape, and not only is the shape make it sound nicer, it's also bringing out the imitation more. So if we add this shape, let's say we shape it towards the second beat. We can try the third beat as well, right? So if we shape it towards the second beat, we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. See how that brings out the imitation. Let's try shaping it to the third beat for fun. That also works. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get to decide how you like it best. You rather on the second beat or on the third beat? Maybe the third beat makes more sense. And that's it. So when you come to my master class, we'll work on it together. One of these days we'll have a master class when we can get together again. And until then, let me know, actually, I'm very curious to know, since I'm going to go through a lot of these RCM pieces, especially from the performance books, what are some of the RCM series pieces that you would like to hear a tutorial on? Maybe we'll even do some live videos on it. That would be awesome. Take care, peace, over and out. See you next time. Happy practicing.